Hello everyone and welcome to episode 8 of the WCW 2000 save here on TEW IX. We are straight into Nitro because nothing really happened in the previous week. So last week's episode was a little bit long, it was about 25 or so minutes, so this one we're hopefully going to get under 20 or so, and then I can get SuperBrawl recorded right afterwards as well. And as you can see, we have started the show in truly horrific fashion, with Sid Vicious squashing Kevin Sullivan. And yep, 31, crowd disinterested, crowd cooled, crowd dead, Kevin Sullivan penalised, Sid Vicious being an unprofessional jackass. Brilliant. Now I will say, there's an ulterior motive to this. I buried Kevin Sullivan because I want him to quit. So yeah, that's that. But I was going to start the show with something coming up, but I thought this would be better. I was wrong. I was very wrong. But yeah, nothing happened in between. No news, really. Nothing happened. So it's time to just get straight into Nitro. We then follow that with a terrible promo as well, as Sid says he still hasn't decided if he wants to help anyone yet, but he'll be a keen watcher of SuperBrawl because he is interested in the world title match between Sting and Randy Savage. We then have what I was going to open the show with, and this is a horrific start for Nitro. Mean Gene is backstage with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who is despondent. He can't believe he decided to get involved, and he definitely felt the wrath of it on Thunder. That said, he won't give up. It's not in Hacksaw's nature. He offers Piper another fight tonight and tells him to bring along those two goons, Flair and Package, for a 6-man main event. My stupidity when booking angles has now resulted in Hacksaw Jim Duggan being all over the television in the year 2000. So yeah, I quite like the idea of it though. Like, you might not, but I do. Finally, something decent as Sting and DDP then find Hacksaw backstage getting ready for the 6-man match, and Sting and DDP say they know Hacksaw didn't ask, but they don't need to. Sting and DDP will team up with him tonight to make a blockbuster 6-man tag, 53 overall. Oh boy, this is bad. Ray and Kidman are then interviewed before their match tonight and said they accept Berlin's dumb challenge where if Berlin gets pinned, the title will not change hands, but if Kidman pins Ray or Ray pins Kidman, they will become the Cruiserweight champion. There will be no hard feelings as these two guys love and respect each other, but know that singles gold is what they both aspire to have. And then we go to another promo, which gets a 40, so we're crawling up a little bit. Kurt Hennig is interviewed backstage and says that everyone knows Canyon cheated to win last week and he wants Canyon tonight. Canyon does appear and says absolutely no shot. Canyon's still hurting from being attacked from behind last week on Thunder, so if Hennig wants a shot he can wait until Sunday when Canyon is fully recovered. We then get a 43 rated match as the Filthy Animals of Ray and Kidman do pick up a little win over PG-13 with Billy Kidman winning with the Shooting Star Press. Good performance by both of those guys. PG-13 just jobbers, really. Nothing else to say about that. Hopefully we can start turning the corner on this show now. And we can. The big man, Norman Smiley, comes down to the ring with a serious face on his face. That makes sense. And demands that whoever is behind this lights nonsense reveal themselves. The lights do go off, but take a few extra seconds to come back on. When they do, Smiley is still alone in the ring, but a solitary standing up steel chair has appeared next to him. And then that's all the mystery we're getting. I mean, I think everyone knows who it is, but, you know, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. We then get a 47 match, so we are continuing to get up a little bit, as Vampiro defeats Bam Bam Bigelow because I have no plans for Bam Bam Bigelow and I kind of have no plans for Vampiro. But Vampiro's popular. So yeah, he's then interviewed after the match in the ring by Mean Gene, who congratulates him on a big win tonight, asks what the future holds for him. He says he's not really sure. Obviously he wants some singles gold around his waist, or wasset, sooner rather than later. He throws out a challenge to the winner of either the US title match or TV title match at SuperBrawl, so he will take on Benoit or Steiner or Canyon or Hennig. He's not fussed about which one, he just wants to start getting some momentum and some singles gold. We're then continuing to climb up with a 53 as Booker T defeats Dean Malenko by pinfall with a scissors kick in just under 8 minutes. Good little match, 53 overall. and that leads into the post-match, which is terrible. Stevie Ray comes into the ring to celebrate with Booker T, and Perry, who's also there with Dean, tells Stevie that on Thunder it's going to be him and Stevie going head to head to make the score even before the pay-per-view. Simple build-up, simple stuff. And another terrible promo, as Berlin is delighted that Ray and Kidman have accepted his conditions for Sunday. He says they might go have a tune-up match with the Wall right now. And they do. They beat the Villanos. The match is atrocious. The crowd is dying. Oh no, this is going to be bad. I really need stuff to start getting the 60s now. 49's not good enough, as Benoit and Dustin have heard about enough from the NWO over the last few weeks, and they challenge Jarrett and Steiner to a match on Thursday as a little preview of what's coming to them on Sunday. And then they do have a match against a 50. The crowd is now officially dead. Benoit and Dustin defeat the Harris brothers in just another 6 minutes because the Harris brothers suck. Benoit looking fantastic in this match as well. Yep. I mean, it's not good, folks. It's not good. But then finally get an angle in the 60s, and it brings the crowd up to unclear as Randy Savage is in an undisclosed location, talks about the big plan coming together and how on Sunday the reign of Sting will end, and finally WCW can begin to be healed. They then get a 53 as the NWO are backstage. Steiner tells Chris Benoit in so many words, because there's a lot of them, that he will end him on Sunday and take the US title back to the NWO, and Jarrett says that they accept Benoit and Dustin's challenge for Thunder. Nash and Hall meanwhile say that they're happy to have the night off and look forward to a big party next Monday night. 53 is decent. 64 is good. This is like near the main event though, so we're probably getting a really bad rating tonight. Package, Flair and Piper are getting ready and talk about how tonight it's time to get Sting and DDP ready for Savage and Hogan. As for that bum Hacksaw, well, he's just becoming a pain in the ass. Simple enough. The match gets a 62, which is all okay considering Hacksaw dropped a 38. But Hacksaw, Sting and DDP do win when they defeat Piper, Flair and Package with the Scorpion Death Drop on Package by Sting. Good match, 62. Hacksaw did stink up the joint a bit, but I mean, it's Hacksaw in the year 2000. He was pretty good in like 85 for a while, you know. And then the main event angle is a 56. I think we're going to be lucky to get a 60 for this show. But after the victory, Sting, DDP and Hacksaw stand tall when Hogan's music hits and Hogan Savage begin the slow walk down the ramp. Before they can get into the ring, the other three men are back up and wipe out the three faces. Hogan and Savage get in the ring and beat down their opponents for the pay-per-view, with Hacksaw just sort of casually tossed aside because he's not important. In their eyes, Hogan punished for the personal issues. 56. I'm hoping and praying we could get a 60 here. Thank God. After that absolutely brutal start to the show. I mean, a 60 is still bad. We're losing popularity. We're now under $1 million in the bank. By the end of this month, we will be in the negative. But it's all about building. We want to make money, but we need to build the company up to make money. The pay-per-view deals are a real pain in the ass. There was a comment on episode 6, I believe. Let me just see if I can find the comments as we click around. We do have some decisions to be made, which is always a delight. Definitely something I like to click on all the time. Yeah, so Nathan Sawyer, who by the way I watched your first episode. It was pretty good, so hopefully you continue that save. He did say I could try and cancel and renegotiate. The problem we've got with that is if we go into the broadcasting, so they're happy to get rid of us. Oh, they will let us cancel it for free. The problem I've got though is I don't know if we would get a replacement deal. we might have a look at that. I might look at that off camera, but we're going to look at this first. Bam Bam Bigelow, Hard Rock, yeah. You know what, Bam? Have fun at rehab. I've not got no plans for you, so just go and enjoy rehab for a while. Oh, Christ. We then have Hogan hates Vampiro. Right, here we go. So Scott Hall hates Ric Flair. Jay Biggs is arguing. Elizabeth, Berlin, Ron Harris, Terry Taylor, Vampiro. Thanks, Scott. That's just what we needed for the backstage. Just what we bloody needed. You drunk. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for that. But yeah, we're going to... I'll have a look at the broadcasting situation. I might make a save. And then try and do the thing. And then... if it doesn't work, I can then bring the save back. I'll see. But it's a good potential shout. I'm going to go book Thunder. And I'll see you in a moment. Okay, it's time for Thunder, and we kick off with a big promo to start the show. As Hogan, Savage, Piper, Flair and Package are in the ring. And say that Sunday will be glorious. Hogan will destroy DDP, Savage will destroy Sting and take the world title. As for the other three, they says that WCW can put up anyone they want against them. Hogan dismisses Hacksaw and says no doubt that goof will want to be involved. So he can find two partners, then sure. They can all have their asses kicked on Sunday. Savage takes over and says that he can't wait for Sunday either. They've had fun beating up Sting in recent weeks, and on Sunday he gets put out to pasture. Just setting up a little 6-man tag for the pay-per-view. It will be Hacksaw involved as one of the three men. I don't quite know who's going to be the other two as of yet. I don't know if I try and bring somebody in as like a surprise, or if we use someone on the roster. We'll see. I'm thinking some ideas. I will be recording SuperBrawl pretty much straight after this, so you can drop ideas in the chat, in the comments, sorry, but I won't see them before the episode, unfortunately. But yeah, good start to the show. 66 overall, we then have a 52, which is shockingly high, as Vampiro defeats the Demon. Yeah. And then he cuts a promo afterwards to say that he's hoping to continue this momentum going into Monday's challenge. He doesn't mind who he faces, but come Monday he will be a champion here in WCW. Obviously he has challenged the TV champion or the US champion to a match. Good work. Vampiro bringing in decent ratings. Unlike Duggan, who I keep using. But Hacksaw's with Mean Gene again, and is on a high after that win on Monday, but his business isn't finished. He wants Package in the match tonight to continue sticking up for WCW and also get some momentum on the go for the 6-man tag. A 52 is pretty good. Total Package defeats Hacksaw with Torture Rack, because Hacksaw's not going to win these matches, but it's pretty good. I'm not mad at this at all. Like, really not mad. Dustin Rhodes is then backstage with a strap in his hand, and he says he's looking forward to using this on Jarrett on Sunday, but tonight he can at least give him a little preview of what's to come. 47 is good. 51 is also, this is a good show so far, and about to have decent reaction from the crowd, at least. Kurt Hennig defeated the Barbarian in 7 minutes with the Hennigplex following botched interference from Chris Champagne Canyon. So Canyon comes down, he tries to whack Hennig with the title belt as a bit of revenge, misses, hits the Barbarian, Hennig then hits the Hennigplex to win. And after accidentally hitting Barb with the title belt, Canyon tries to make a run for it, only for Hennig to be hovering around, who throws Canyon back into the ring, straight into a big boot by Barb as Hennig walks away laughing. 35 is a pretty rubbish segment, but I like it. It's a nice, like, natural sort of progression, I think. We then have a very poor interview with Sting. 47. He's interviewed by Mean Gene. He's in a good state of mind for Sunday. Sting says it's been rough, but he's always ready for anything. And on Sunday he takes out Savage and expects DDP will have his back regardless of how his match with Hogan goes. And we then go straight into the match that we promoted on Nitro, as Perry Saturn does defeat Stevie Ray with the Rings of Saturn. Perry gets the win. It's now 1-1 going into the pay-per-view between Harlem Heat and Revolution. And after the match, the two teams come face to face, looking to shake hands, but the outsiders appear and take out both teams to some razor's edges and some jackknives, and they stand over their fallen victims, sending a message for Monday, where obviously the outsiders will face the winners of this match for the tag team titles. Possibly. That might change. We then have another good promo with Norman Smiley, of course, obviously. He's backstage with the chair that was in the ring with him last Monday, and the lights, of course, do go off and on again. And lo and behold, there's another chair next to Smiley, who freaks out. There's chairs everywhere. Yeah. 49, Smiley continuing to do the good stuff. Oof, we did have a banger of a segment with DDP. I'm so glad I put this one here rather than the Sting one. And DDP's backstage as well, and he says he can't wait to get his hands on Hogan. They've gone to battle before, but DDP's a different beast to what he was then. And when DDP hits the Diamond Cutter on Sunday, it will be all over already for Hogan and company. And in our main event, I guess a 59 is pretty disappointment. Possibly because of all the nonsense, and also Jarrett and Steiner apparently have zero chemistry as partners. But the NWO 2000 of Jeff Jarrett and Scott Steiner do defeat Dustin Rhodes and Chris Benoit when Steiner submits Dustin with the Steiner recliner after this distraction from Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, who both come out to distract the good guys. And then, yeah, good match. 59 isn't terrible. It does give us a 62 overall, which is, I'm happy with that rating. Again, we're still under the 63, we will still be losing popularity. But that's a good show. I think that's a pretty good... Oh, Christ, we've lost 190,000 on it, mind. Which isn't great. And we have dropped, obviously, a couple points again. Some places. I mean, Europe, we're still doing well. It's... I thought it was a pretty good show. 62 overall. I was happy with how the ratings came out. Again, I mean, this is boring to keep repeating, but the ratings aren't going to be amazing until the momentum from the backstage improves. We need the morale to go up, and the morale currently isn't. I was hoping there was going to be a little message there to say that Kevin Sullivan had forced his way out and wanted to quit, but sadly not. Which is frustrating. I could just fire him, but he's gone soon, so I'm trying to just push him out the door. Apparently Jeff Jarrett's the real MVP, and he says he should be given the chance to carry the company. Thanks, Jeff. Didn't need that to happen. And Scott Hall, again, the demon is involved now. For God's sake, Scott, like, why are you getting the demon involved? What's Dale Tolbert going to do with Ric Flair? For God's sake, Scott, man. Like, ugh. I don't know, like, it's going to take a while to improve this. We need to get rid of all the negative influences in this. Everybody's got one because everybody's in a grump other than these guys. Scott Steiner's positive at least. But if we can get rid of Sullivan, we basically need rid of Sullivan and we need rid of Brett to some degree. I mean, ideally we need rid of Flair and Hall as well. But like, Ric Flair and Scott Hall are just so over. And Ric Flair, how's he doing? It's pretty much the same as what he was. And how about Scott? Major star as well. Yeah, Scott's hovering about similar to what he was. We need them to like just behave themselves. What we could do is we could meddle with them before the show. We could meddle between the two of them and try and break things up. We could also do the hardline stance, but then half the roster will probably quit in one fell swoop. So we're not going to do that because it's a bad idea. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode, I think. Nothing really else here. I mean, this is all kind of the same. I look at it every so often. These are still our guys, and we could obviously sign guys like John Cena, but he's not going to get signed by the WWF at the moment, I don't believe. So we can let this one ride out a little bit and go from there. But next up is going to be SuperBrawl. And if you bear with me 1 second, I just need to check something. Okay, I had some spoilers up on the screen, my pre-booking page, so I've got the notepad up to the side. So, currently booked for SuperBrawl. Berlin will take on Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio Jr. for the Cruiserweight Championship, with the stipulation that Billy Kidman must pin Rey Mysterio, or Rey Mysterio must pin Billy Kidman to win the title. They cannot win the Cruiserweight belt by pinning Berlin. Chris Benoit defends the US title against Scott Steiner. Dustin Rhodes takes on Jeff Jarrett in a strap match. Harlem Heat will retire as a team if they lose versus the Revolution, who will be putting the tag titles on the line. If the Revolution win, Harlem Heat will have to split up. If Harlem Heat win, they can continue teaming. This was a self-imposed policy by Stevie Ray, of all people. The winner of that match will, of course, face the winner of will face the NWO of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall on Monday. Hulk Hogan will take on Diamond Dallas Page in his return to the ring. And we'll also have Kurt Hennig taking on the TV champion Chris Kanyon. And in the main event, it will be Sting versus Randy Savage for the World Heavyweight title. And there will also be something with Norman Smiley. And also the unbooked 6-man tag match where it will be Roddy Piper, the Total Package, and Ric Flair taking on Hacksaw Jim Duggan and 2 people who I don't know who yet. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully this has been a bit shorter than the previous one. And yes, we will be back in a few days' time for SuperBrawl. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to booking it right now. I'm hoping it's going to be a really good show. I actually don't know who's winning half of the matches yet, so I need to think about that. But let me know your predictions in the comments, all that fun stuff. Hopefully you've liked the build to the show, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.